The Commission voted unanimously to place Mount Prospect House, Shed, Barn, and Setting on the preliminary landmarks list under Criteria 1 for its association with the My Ladies Manor area of Baltimore County and the historically significant Stansbury family as one of the earliest settlers in the area, whose contributions significantly impacted the area's development. For its association with the equestrian history of Baltimore County and Maryland, which continues to be an important cultural and economic component of Baltimore County's agricultural heritage. For its significance as a collection of artifacts illustrating the historical evolution of agriculture, which contributed to the development of Baltimore County. 2, as an excellent example of a vernacular structure that retains integrity in form, craftsmanship, and materials that reflects the community's distinct character and provides a physical reminder of the work performed by generations of both the free and enslaved in the 18th and 19th centuries. And part of the parcel, 8.42 acres total, map 36, parcel 140, tax ID 101-905-1302, was delineated as its historic environmental setting.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the members? Mr. Rising?
I'd like to move the bill, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Second.
Yep. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 42-17.
Mr. Quirk.
Aye.
Mrs. Almond.
Aye.
Mr. Katz.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins.
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Bill 42-17 is passed.
Thank you.
Ms. Rising. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Bill 43-17 is sponsored by Council Members Quirk, Crandall, and Almond. Zoning regulations, collection bins.
And Mr. Secretary, can you read the amendments to Bill 43-17?
There's a set of amendments in your book sponsored by Councilman Quirk. The first amendment is technical. The second amendment conforms the new definition of a collection bin to the former definition of the collection trailer. The next amendment removes the reference to the zoning commissioner as the person who issues the use permit and substitutes the director of permits, approvals, and inspections. And the final amendment provides a 90-day grace period for within which these collection bins that are in existence that do not have permits must come in compliance with the Act within 90 days.
And Mr. Secretary, I'll move those amendments to Bill 43-17. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the amendments to Bill 43-17.
Mr. Quirk.
Aye.
Mr. Katz.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins.
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Mrs. Almond.
Aye.
The amendment's passed. And I'll move the Bill 43-17 as amended. Is there a second?
Second.
Now, is there any discussion? I mean, I did want to say a couple of minor things. First of all, I wanted to thank my colleagues who helped co-sponsor this bill. I know Councilman Crandall, Councilwoman Almond, and generally the whole council was very supportive of this. What we're seeing in our neighborhoods is we're getting a lot of these collection bins that are popping up all over the place. And some are very well managed and some are not managed at all. And so this bill just simply gives us the tools to be able to permit and enforce these collection bins and basically weed out the bad actors that are doing a terrible job of collecting the materials and also to have some control over it. And that's coming right from our communities. I don't know if any of the other members want to say anything on this bill. Councilwoman Almond?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that in going around the county, you see so many of these that are overflowing, that junk is being put in there and trash is being put in there and they're never picked up. The numbers that you call on the bins are either not in service or nobody answers the phone. So I was honored to sign on to the legislation. Thank you, Mr. Quirk.
Thank you, Councilwoman Almond. Anybody else? All right, so we moved it. We moved the bill as amended. It was seconded. No other discussion. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 43-17 as amended.
Mr. Quirk.
Aye.
Mr. Crandall.
Aye.
Mrs. Almond.
Aye.
Mr. Katz.
Aye.
Mr. Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Marks.
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins.
Aye.
Bill 43-17 as amended is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Bill 45-17 is sponsored by Councilwoman Bevins, Assisted Living Facilities.
Councilwoman?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Bill 4517 is basically a bill to stop the clustering of assisted living facilities going into residential neighborhoods. I have a community specifically in Parkville where companies are buying up single-family homes and turning them into assisted living facilities. The state oversees these facilities, not the county, but what it does is it produces a lot of traffic, staff, 24 hours a day, frequent 911 calls, medical management of waste, and this is just not to stop them from coming into residential communities, but to stop the clustering of them. We already have 3 facilities on just one street, in Parkville. So I'd like to, I hope I can count on the support from my colleagues for this.
Are there any questions or comments from the members for Councilwoman Bevins? All right, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 45-17.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Almond?
Aye.
Mr. Katz?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Bill 45-17 is passed. Mr. Secretary, okay, the council's now consider all fiscal matters. Extensive testimony was taken at the council's work session on August 1st, 2017. The witnesses who testified at the work session are available to restate their testimony if needed. If a council member has any questions regarding a particular fiscal matter, that item will be discussed as a separate matter. I will now call upon the Secretary to read the cover letter for fiscal matters 1 through 10, 12, and 13.
Fiscal Matter 1 is a contract with Advantage Conference and Expo, LLC. Fiscal Matter 2 is a contract with Total Environmental Concepts. Fiscal Matter 3 is a contract with Lion Total Care. Fiscal Matter 4 is an agreement with USGS. Fiscal Matter 5 is a contract with Martel Laboratories. Fiscal Matter 6 is a contract with ALS Group USA. Fiscal Matter 7 consists of 2 contracts for the maintenance and repair of sewer pumps and county-owned pumping stations. Fiscal Matter 8 consists of 2 contracts for the repainting of county-owned radio towers. Fiscal Matter 9 is a contract with Motorola Solutions. Fiscal Matter 10 is a contract with David James LLC. Fiscal Matter 12 consists of 2 contracts for on-call HVAC services. And Fiscal Matter 13 is a contract with Tito Contractors Incorporated.
And are there any questions or comments from the members? Councilman Katz?
Yes, I was wondering, Mr. Dorsey, you were going to send me a list of underground storage facilities that the county owns, and also the reports from the past as to whether there are any problems with them. Have you been able to gather that list yet? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the members? Councilman Jones?
Yeah, I guess wanted to take a moment to speak to the contract concerning the turnout gear cleaning. I think it's an excellent idea, and I apologize, I did not mention this to you before, but I'm definitely in support of this contract because I think cleaning the turnout gear is extremely important. But I would also urge you to consider maybe us purchasing some washers and dryers and put them throughout the county so that we can turn them around a lot faster, in addition to having the professionals do it and make any maintenance that's necessary. That's all.
Other questions or comments? Councilman Katz, I just want to make sure, are you okay if we vote on fiscal matters 1 through 10, 12, and 13 as a package, or did you want to?
That's
You
fine.
okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm certain. I was just curious. We had, the gasoline leak in Jacksonville some years ago, so I'm just very concerned about the condition of underground tanks.
Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on fiscal matters 1 through 10, 12, and 13.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Katz?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mrs. Almond?
Aye.
Fiscal matters 1 through 10, 12, and 13 are approved. We will now consider miscellaneous business. Mr. Secretary, first item, please.
This is a notification from the Director of Budget and Finance regarding the awarding of contracts over $25,000 by a process other than formal competitive bid. Those contracts are required to be announced at the Council's legislative session. There are 3 contracts this evening. Baltimore Gas and Electric, $35,577. Elliott and France Incorporated, $80,500. And Lake Enterprises Incorporated, $80,000.
Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 64-17 is a resolution to authorize the county to accept a gift from the State of Maryland Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services.
And Mr. Dorsey.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the County Council. Resolution 6417 is a request to accept a gift from the State of Maryland Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services regarding our protocol card sets. The State of Maryland, rather than giving the funds directly to Baltimore County, would make payments directly to the vendor, that is Medical Priorities Consultant, of an amount of $16,375 in order for us to purchase 33 additional protocol card sets, 11 for each for medical, fire, and police. This would complete our collection of card sets, which serve as a backup if there was ever a computer system failure. The 911 center staff would be able to pull out these cards and continue to follow the correct protocol of the particular questions that need to be asked and stay effective. Right now, we have 60 card sets to cover all of the ones that we have for training and for the backup center. We need 11 more sets, total 33 between across all of the different protocols. And that's what this request is to allow the State of Maryland to make payment on our behalf to the vendor.
Are there any questions or comments for Mr. Dorsey? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve Resolution 64-17?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 64-17.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Almond?
Aye.
Mr. Katz?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Resolution 64-17 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 65-17 is also a resolution to accept a gift from the State of Maryland Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services.
Mr. Dorsey.
Yes, again, this is a similar type of resolution, an amount of donation up to $277,566. This would cover the cost of training that's provided by medical dispatch company, again, Priority Dispatch Corporation. The state would pay the company directly rather than paying the monies to Baltimore County. This particular request actually covers contributions that the state has made on our behalf from 2012 to 2017. It would also cover $58,350 worth of training that would be provided to our staff for the first 2 quarters of this current fiscal year. And that brings the total up to $277,566.
And are there any questions or comments for Mr. Dorsey on Resolution 65-17? All right, I'll move this Resolution 65-17. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 65-17.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Katz?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mrs. Almond?
Aye.
Resolution 65-17 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 66-17 is a resolution in support of a conditional grant in the amount up to $2 million to Under Armour Incorporated from the Maryland Department of Commerce.
Now, we see you're not Will Anderson tonight. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. I am here to request the endorsement of a project and corresponding Maryland Department of Commerce MEDAF Fund conditional grant of up to $2 million to assist with the costs associated with the acquisition, construction, and equipping of a new Under Armour e-commerce warehouse and distribution center at Trade Point Atlantic and Sparrows Point. The facility will be 1.3 million square feet and employ about 800 employees. The state requires a local match of 10% for these kinds of conditional grants, and so the county portion of that is $200,000. We have submitted to the council for the 7-day grant notification process already, and so we look forward to your support for this bill to help bring jobs back to Sparrows Point.
Any questions or comments? Councilman Crandall?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your work and for the department's work on this. As everyone, I think, in chambers tonight knows, our area has suffered from a massive amount of job loss over the last 20 or 30 years, and it hasn't been until the last few years that Trade Point Atlantic has spent millions and millions of dollars not only on job creation and marketing and transforming the property, but also the environmental aspects that were the legacy of steelmaking there. So when you have an opportunity to assist a company such as Under Armour that has shown in their history to be a boon to where they locate, I think that this is an important measure for us to, an important opportunity for us to grasp and take advantage of it. And what I like about this particular grant that we would be endorsing is that in order for the grant to be forgiven, the company will have to retain those 800 workers over a 5-year period. So there's a job retention component to this, which when in an area that suffers from job loss the way that we have, that necessary stability, knowing that those jobs are going to be there and that those people are going to be taken care of in that company for that length of time is important. So it's an important component of this grant. So thank you again for your work on it, and I'm hoping my colleagues will endorse this grant along with me.
Thank you, Councilman.
Yeah, I'd also like to thank you, Councilman Crandall and I. We have property either directly in Councilman Crandall's district or close to southwest Baltimore County's Port Covington. Mm-hmm. And so the success of Under Armour and with the county working hand in hand with private business, I think this is a great thing. This is stuff we've got to keep doing because, I mean, if Under Armour wins, I mean, this whole area, our whole region wins. So I do appreciate your work. And with that, I definitely will move to approve Resolution 66-17. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any other discussion? All right. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 66-17.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Katz?
Aye.
Resolution 66-17 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 67-17 is a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale by Baltimore County of one of its series of bonds in an amount not to exceed $7 million. This is for the Maryland Rewind and Converting LLC project.
Thank you. Yes, this is for an economic development revenue bond not to exceed $7 million for Maryland Rewind and Converting LLC. It's also known as Good Wrappers in connection with its plastic sheet manufacturing business. The bonds will be used to finance the acquisition, renovation, and furnishing and equipping of an additional facility at 3901 Washington Boulevard, in addition to adding the acquisition and installation of equipment for its existing facility at 1920 Halethorpe Farms Road. The county will earn an annual fee of 1/8% on the outstanding principal of the bonds, and the county does not incur any liability nor pledge its full faith and credit for the bonds. We look forward to your support for this resolution and support of manufacturing in the county.
Yeah, and I would just say thanks again for your work. This is a business in my district. I love industrial revenue bonds. I mean, this is wonderful for business. This is government helping business.
Right.
So business is able to borrow money at very attractive rates. Mm-hmm. The county is not on the hook for this. I mean, we actually earn a small fee for helping facilitate this.
Right.
But this helps create jobs. I mean, this is really government helping business. So I can't say thank you enough. Let's have several thousand more industrial revenue bonds because this is where jobs are created. So thank you for your help, too. All right, so I will enthusiastically motion to approve Resolution 67-17.
Second.
All right. Any other discussion? Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 67-17.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Katz?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Resolution 67-17 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 68-17 is sponsored by Councilman Marks. This is a resolution to approve an amendment to a previously approved resolution for the Townsend Station project.
And Mr. Secretary and council members and people in the audience tonight, I just want to say over the weekend I've had extensive conversations with Caves Valley Partners, with Royal Farms, with the County Executive's Office, and all parties over the weekend have agreed to relook at this agreement, relook at the negotiation, relook at the possibility of even eliminating the gas stations. And so all parties want to come up, and I want to stress this very much, I want to stress is that all parties are looking for a win-win solution for the community, a win-win solution for Royal Farms, a win-win solution for Cave Valley. And I think there is a way to go forward. And so with that new information, I'm moving to table.
I'll second.
There's been a motion to table. There's been a second.
Point of clarification. Point of clarification.
A motion to table is not debatable, and
But
it is
I-
not
but
up for
I-
discussion.
But I can ask a question.
Councilman Marks, I will allow you to speak after we do the vote. There's been a motion to table. There's been a second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the motion to table.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
No.
Mr. Marks?
No.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
No.
Motion to table is approved. All right. Councilman Marks, did you want to say anything? Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I will say something. Councilman Quirk, you're an honorable person, and I've enjoyed serving with you. The problem is that I'm not sure that everyone is as honorable as you are. And we passed a resolution in December that spelled out very clear restrictions on the development of this property, and then the administration ignored those restrictions. And I just don't have very much confidence that further discussions will be treated in the manner that we all would hope they would be.
All right, so the motion table was passed, so the resolution is tabled. Any other discussion before we do the next item? All right, Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 69-17, sponsored by Councilwoman Allman. This is a resolution of the council to amend the boundaries of the Pikesville Commercial Revitalization District.
Councilwoman Allman?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commercial revitalization districts provide incentives to property owners and businesses in those districts to improve exterior of existing buildings and to develop and redevelop underused properties. So in this case, we are amending the Pikesville Commercial Revitalization District to include more of that district to incentivize those folks.
And Mr. Secretary, if you could read that amendment.
There's an amendment in your books that's sponsored by Councilwoman Allman. This amendment is to add the Pikesville Armory property also to the district.
And that was an oversight in the beginning, and because the Pikesville Armory is a key part of the Pikesville neighborhood and community and business community, I decided to include the Armory as well.
Okay, Councilwoman Allman, is that a motion to approve the amendment?
Motion to approve the amendment.
Second.
There's been a motion and second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the amendments to Resolution 69-17.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks? Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
The amendment's passed. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 69-17 as amended?
So moved.
And is there a second? Motion and second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 69-17 as amended.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks? Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Resolution 69-17 as amended is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 70-17 is sponsored by Councilman Quirk. This is a resolution to approve the refund of taxes collected from George W. Miller, Jr., who is a disabled veteran entitled to an exemption under state law.
And I will move the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 70-17.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Catch? Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks? Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Resolution 70-17 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 71-17 is sponsored by Councilwoman Bevins, a resolution to approve the refund of property taxes collected from Brenda Traylor, who is a blind person entitled to a partial exemption from state and county taxes.
I'm honored to move it.
And now second it. And Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 71-17.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Allman?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks? Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Resolution 71-17 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 72-17 is sponsored by Councilman Marks. This is a resolution to approve the refund of taxes collected from Sohail Jafari, who is a blind person and entitled to a partial exemption.
I'll second. Okay, motion and second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 72-17.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mrs. Almond?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Resolution 72-17 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 73-17 is sponsored by Councilman Marks. This is a resolution to amend the Perry Hall Commercial Revitalization District. This is for introduction only this evening.
And, Mr. Secretary, is any further business come before the council?
There is no further business, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Is motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. As is customary, anyone who signed up prior to the meeting with the Secretary is allowed up to 3 minutes to speak. Mr. Secretary, are there speakers signed up for this evening? Looks like we have 4 speakers. All right, so each speaker is allowed up to 3 minutes to speak. I'll call your name. If you could make your way up, I'll call the next person if you could get into the batter's box, so to speak. Our first speaker is Mr. Eugene McWay, followed by Thomas King. You want to come right on up to the podium.
Good evening.
How you doing?
Good evening. Thank you for coming in.
I'm coming in today because I'm having some issues with Randallstown Police Department. There's been times, there was a time when I had to report a police officer, and I guess right after that, things for me turned bad. The police officer was very unprofessional. I told him what my problem was, and in his mind, I guess I was to blame. So this one particular night, he flashed his that bright flashlight he used, and so I went to his superior, and then after that, he disappeared. But my life after that turned to poop. Whenever I called the police, I have 2 things against me: what went down in Randallstown Police Department. And it's just been bad ever since. I've tried to talk to the captain, but I had to explain what I wanted the captain for. And whenever a regular police officer answers the telephone, there's no way I'm going to talk to a captain. So I did everything I could. This is my last resort here.
Mr. McWay.
I've even tried to get a lawyer, but I didn't have the money to support that. So, help.
Well, Mr. McQuay, is it?
Yeah, McWay.
McQuay, well, thank you. I apologize you feel as though you were mistreated. I represent Randallstown very proudly, and I would urge you to give me a call, or if we have your number, I give you a call, and we can see if we can come to some resolution and if we can address your concerns, because I don't want any citizen out there feeling as though the police are somehow not being responsive to their needs.
Well, I'll tell you, I have what they call ADT alarm systems, and these knuckleheads comes in my house. They pick the lock, and they come in, do whatever they have to do, and go back out. Wednesday past, I came in, and my alarm was off. And this didn't happen once. It happened several different times. I called Randallstown Police. They could never see anything wrong.
Okay.
I look forward to your call, sir.
Okay.
And thank you for coming in tonight. Our next speaker is Thomas King, followed by Peggy King. Good evening, Mr. King.
Council, I'd just like to take a moment to speak to you all. I was actually planning on ceding my time tonight because I didn't think I was going to have to do this. But I would like to say that as a young voter, as a registered Democrat, as a graduate of the Towson High School Law and Public Policy program, as a member of the Towson community and a resident of Morningside Drive, I am deeply aggrieved by the decisions that you have made tonight. I know that you may have the reasons for the votes that you made. I'm sure you're very confident in those reasons. But I would like to say to you that your vote, whether intentionally or not, has hurt our community. And I think that you saw by the number of people that walked out of this room when you made that vote that these people are not going to forget that. I'd like you to think for tonight, for the next week, and really until this problem resolves itself, the part that you've played in this issue. Because this community only gets bigger and bigger, and we have expressed very strongly that we do not want this gas station. And I think that you all know that. And again, I don't know the exact reasons that you voted the way that you did, but I can tell you that a lot of the people out there are not going to be very understanding of that. That is not to say that, I suppose I could say it like this. By making this decision, I really sincerely do not think that you've made any friends tonight. If anything, you've made quite a few enemies. Enemies who not only will not wish to vote for you, but will actively campaign against all of you in your next elections. I would like you to think about that. And again, I would like to say that I really wish I didn't have to say this, and I really only speak for myself. But I am deeply, deeply saddened by what has happened tonight. And I believe the rest of my community is too.
I'm sorry, keep going.
And I hope that my words here tonight will give you all pause and maybe reconsider your positions as this goes forward.
Councilman Jones?
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate you coming here tonight. I appreciate your advocacy on the issue. And it was a very difficult decision to make. But at the end of the day, I hope you can understand that years ago, an agreement was made. $8 million is due the county. We built a new fire station based on that agreement down the street. The fire station is there today. We cannot unring that bell. The fire station is built. So it's easy to stand around and say, hey, break that agreement, let's do something else. But there's $8 million we're looking for. What that means is that $8 million come from someplace else. Maybe some school we don't build. Maybe some future fire station we don't build. Somewhere along the line, so people say, well, why don't we just take the money from our rainy day fund? Well, it's raining today. We don't know when it's going to rain more. We have to count for the $8 million. An agreement was made. All sorts of things have happened based on that agreement. And to come at the last minute and somehow undo it, if it was in my power and we can take the fire station down and move the fire station to Randallstown, it'll be great with me. But unfortunately, we can't do that. So I appreciate your advocacy. And maybe, one day you'll have some empathy for folks who sit in these chairs, who make these decisions, and oftentimes they're not easy decisions. So thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you. And if I may say just one thing before I get up. You said that many years ago an agreement was made, and that is true. But those of us who live on Morningside Drive will remember that over 4 years ago, before this agreement was ever made, back when, if you can believe it, I was in middle school, I was writing essays, and I was going out on the corner, and I was protesting not even this gas station, but the moving of the fire station in the first place. So I would like you all to think about who really was first on this issue. Was it Caves Valley, or was it your constituents, the people of this community.
Thank you, Mr. King. Councilman Almond, did you want to say something?
Never mind, no.
Councilman Marks?
I will say something. Tommy, thank you for testifying. It's very difficult for someone of your age to testify sometimes before the council, but you've done a very nice job, and you have a great future at the University of Maryland. Councilman Jones is correct that a contract was signed, but the contract was dependent upon a planned unit development being approved. The county council put restrictions into a resolution in December that included the preservation of 30 mature trees to the extent that they could be integrated into a development. And that restriction was broken. Now, you are a former member of the Law and Public Policy Program at Towson, correct?
Yes.
So you understand the importance of the law. And in my mind, the legislative intent of the council was ignored, and the PUD that advances will be very deficient because of that. So I think there is a distinction between a contract and a planned unit development, which is why I introduced the resolution. But I do want to thank you for your advocacy, and I want to wish you the best of luck as you move forward.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. King. Appreciate it. Our next speaker is Peggy King, followed by Steve Seibel. Yeah, they were dangerous. Yeah, well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you. I don't know how I can follow that. That is my son. He's going to college. This all started when he was in middle school, and it's a shame that it has taken up so much of my family's life and that of Towson. It appears that you have decided to table the vote. Well, every one of you that voted to table the vote, to me, that is a no vote to Councilman Marks' resolution. None of you did the right thing, and I'm not speaking about Councilman Couch, Councilman Marks, or Councilman Crandall. The rest of you did not listen to the people who have spoken to you over the years. You all have received thousands of emails, letters, phone calls, had personal meetings. Dozens and dozens of people have testified in front of you. The only people I have personally ever heard testify in favor of this PUD was the attorney and I forget who the other person was last week, but there's only been two people that have testified in favor of this PUD, both self-serving, a gentleman from Caves Valley and the attorney, okay? These are the people who stand to make money from this. You haven't listened to the community. I mean, 17 people just last Tuesday came out on a Tuesday at 2 o'clock, took their time, just like they did tonight, to talk about this issue. Councilman Marks did the right thing, listening to his community. And if for any other reason that you could have hung your hat on, the county did not abide by the resolution that you all voted on in December. The trees were removed. That was clearly in the resolution. So anyway, I'm extremely disappointed in Councilwoman Almond, Councilwoman Bevins, Councilman Jones, and Councilman Quirk. I've spent very much time speaking to all of your assistants. Obviously, none of them would tell me what you would do, and I was very surprised and shocked that someone would vote or bring in a vote to table the vote so Councilman Marks could not have this issue voted on. So at least right now, the people out in that hallway believe that they do not matter, okay? People in the Towson community do not matter. And none of you even live here, okay? So you're telling our community what is best for us when we know what's best for us. However, I just want to address two more things. Councilman Jones said something about the property having value. If it doesn't go to this project, someone else will buy it. So how could you say we've lost $8.2 million? There was the lady that testified on Tuesday saying there are other uses for the property, there are other developers out there that would buy it. So I don't know how you can say the property has no value. As I understand it, though, from Councilman Quirk, it sounds like there are going to be some negotiations in the background, and I hope that works, and I hope that Caves Valley and their attorneys listen to the community, because they have not done so far. I mean, we've had numerous meetings with them, thanks to Councilman Marks, and they have not budged 1 inch, other than to say it's not 20 gas pumps, it's now 12. I mean, really. So anyway, I hope that
the fact that you all tabled this will not bite you in the back. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. King. And our last public speaker for the evening is Mr. Steve Seibel.
Good evening, Chairman Quirk and fellow members of the Baltimore County Council. On behalf of my company, Caves Valley Partners, and on behalf of Royal Farms as well, I want to thank those members who voted to table this resolution. To be clear, we believe that we never should have been placed in this position by Councilman Marks. Instead of using the legislative process to undermine an existing contract and resolution for personal political gain, the Council has chosen an appropriate path to determine what middle ground there may be. Contrary to the lack of leadership demonstrated by Councilman Marks, who has refused to speak with us or our attorneys for over 6 months, we do stand ready to engage with the chairman, the other council members, and the county executive to see if a solution can be reached that would reasonably satisfy all parties. I thank you again.
I want to address
Thank you, Mr. Seibel.
I want to address that, Mr. Seibel. And you said some very nasty things at the work session, too, that unfortunately you got away with. There were multiple conversations about this property, and there were multiple people in the community who came into the plum room, and we tried to work out some conditions for this property. To say that I have not tried to reach out to you and talk to you over the past 4 years is just dishonest. I tried reaching out to you when you refused to remove barriers on the sidewalk on Chesapeake Avenue. It took a new owner of Towson Road to get that done. I tried to reach out to you on multiple occasions. I tried to engage you to help me get the administration to pave Bosley Avenue, which is a major disincentive to growth in Towson. You weren't interested in that. So to say that there's been no discussion of this property is just dishonest.
Was that a question?
No, it's a statement.
Okay. Well, it's a good.
Mr. Seibel, do you have a response?
It's a very fine fairy tale you've spun there, Councilman. Thank you.
Particularly when you were in the room when the county executive sent the text message to you about the implications of what would happen if this was not, the resolution was not put in.
Councilman Marks, just a question for you is, in the last several weeks, did Steve Seibel try to meet with you in the last several weeks and you did not meet with him?
Not that I can recall.
Okay, so he did not try to meet with you? Did not try to communicate with you?
Nope.
All right, any other discussion before we all head home? All right, well, Councilman Jones?
No.
Okay. Well, I thank all of you for coming tonight. I would say stay tuned. I think the negotiations will continue, and let's see what happens. Thank you all. Have a safe drive home.
Thank you.
Never ever do a public hearing. Seriously, don't do it, David.
I'm sure you will.